Hello everyone, yours truly, Chrislevi13, and right off the bat, I want to say that anybody who comes by this video right now or in the future, I hope that both personally and professionally you are doing good in your life, because right now, I am doing pretty damn good, and I am on my road to 500 subscribers right here on YouTube, because at 500 subscribers, I'll be doing a special giveaway that I've talked about before on this channel. But as it pertains to this video right here, I'm doing original game soundtrack, talking about 3 of my favorite games and the soundtracks that accompany them, the music that you hear when you play throughout the game, and that is Kingdom Hearts, Borderlands, and Halo. These 3 games impacted my life a whole lot, and they are 3 awesome soundtracks. So, with that being said, sit back, relax, hopefully you'll enjoy this video, and if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see weekly content from yours truly. So when it comes to video games, whether it be retro, modern, it be PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, something old, something new, however you're playing your video game, you got the gameplay that you see on your screen, that you play when you're holding your controller, when you're messing around with your phone. You've got your gameplay that you play, and you have fun playing that game with the sound effects that the game has, with the art style the game has. But a big factor to the overall experience of any game is the soundtrack itself. It's the music that you play that gets intense when you go into boss battles, gets somber whenever you go into sad scenes. Basically, the music helps the dialogue, the sound effects, what you see on screen, all come together, because it's kind of like, hey, you got to add that music in there in certain parts to make sure that everything is right. And these 3 gaming soundtracks right here, I'll be talking about them today, because these are my 3 favorite games of all time. I can't say just Borderlands. I think the whole Borderlands series is really awesome. Same thing with Halo, and same thing with Kingdom Hearts. These games right here impacted my life, changed my life, and I'll be talking about Kingdom Hearts first, because that's the one that whenever I was a little kid, I sat in this room, played that game, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, on the PS2 for days on end, hours on end, played them and beaten them over and over and over, to where they are pretty much ingrained in who I am. Now since it's been years, I have forgotten some stuff here or there, but I really just loved Kingdom Hearts. It was like the best of, you get Disney, you get Final Fantasy, you mesh it together, you get some a few like little Final Fantasy characters, bam, you get Disney, some Disney characters, bam, and then you get a little bit of the gameplay of like what Square Enix like to do at the time, and put it all together in this like wild story, and you add in original characters as well, and it's just like, wow. It's like, wow. Square Enix said, hey, let's choose one of our biggest franchises, Final Fantasy. Let's get one of the biggest franchises outside of ours, Disney. Put it together, add original story, add some original characters, and do it. And that was like phenomenal. And then when you play the game and you first get in there and you're going into the game and you're right there on Destiny Island and all that, and you hear that music play, it's like, damn, because you got Dearly Beloved, you've got Dive Into the Heart, Busting Up on the Beach, Mickey Mouse Club March, Treasure and Strange, man, there's so many iconic tunes on here. Dearly Beloved, all that. You see on this right here, I've got the Japanese version right here. Hopefully y'all can see that, and man, it may not be the best, but that's the Japanese version of it, and it's really cool, man. And it come on 2 discs. I got 1 disc that I have in my thing right there that I was listening to earlier. But man, the music, man, when you're playing these different parts of the game, you're going to the different Disney worlds, and you hear the music, and it just makes everything come together. The emotion of the game draws you in, because you're like watching the stuff with Sora and Riku and Kairi and Mickey and Goofy and the Heartless, and like, it's just like, wow. This right here impacted me to this day, that whenever I heard about Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like glued to my screen. Now, I'm not like certain people like the Gamers Joint and Cynical or any of the bigger other guys that talk about Kingdom Hearts and make a career about it. But I know that when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, you know definitely this channel will be covered in Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. And that game has made an impact on me and it's in my heart forever and always. Now, when you move from that game, a game that I didn't play initially when it came out because, well, I was PlayStation 2 guy at the time, but I did play it years later, and it really connected to the whole series from 1, 2, 3, 4, Reach, OST, Halo Wars, Halo 4, 5, all that, man, was Halo. And you got the opening thing into Truth and Reconnaissance, man, when you're playing this game and you get into it and you're on the ship and you're going through these battles and you hear that intensity of the music and all, and then whenever you get there and you're on the Halo itself, the Halo ring itself in the original Halo, it's like, wow, when you're hearing this stuff, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's just like really, really phenomenal stuff, you know. You got, you know, a Perilous Journey, you know, and a lot of this stuff a lot of this stuff by itself, I gotta say about this soundtrack and this soundtrack, real quick, the two that I've shown you so far. A lot of this stuff is that you've got to really have played these games hardcore, beat the games, and then when you hear these soundtracks on a CD and you're just sitting there relaxed and listening to these soundtracks, it'll bring up the memories of the moments you played these games, what you were doing when you played these games, when you beat these games, and it's like really, really cool to have that kind of feeling about it, you know. And it's really, really cool because whenever you go through Halo and you're running and gunning and you're seeing the Covenant and the Flood and you're learning about the story of this big ring that could take out like part of the universe or the whole universe, and all of this, it's like, wow, and the music gets intense and you're sitting there and you're playing as Master Chief, one of the most phenomenal game characters of all time. It's just really, really cool. You know, and the music, man, I could listen to these. I'm one of those people, man, that these sound better in the game itself, but I can't listen to them separately without the game. But to most people, definitely the Halo one is better accompanied with the game itself to get that feeling. And then you've got the one right here, which I love the whole series, is Borderlands. And I just gotta say, when you get into Borderlands and you hear that opening scene with the actual like band playing and all that stuff, and then you get in the game and you're playing this game and it's this wild game there on this planet Pandora, and you got like all these different guns you can go and get, man. It's like, man, there's so many different guns. There's guns that do electrical power, fire power, corrode, and all this different stuff, and it's just like, wow. But then you have that little music that plays through your headset, if you have a headset, or you're hearing through the speakers or however. And man, you just know that, hey man, this music's like, you got the prelude, Welcome to Firestone, enter Skag Goalie, fighting off Skags, all this stuff, and it's like just like the other two, man. When you're in the game and you're playing and you hear these songs, it's like, man, it's just like, wow. And then when I was like going back when I got these back in May of this year, year to year, to get my first gaming soundtracks, to actually get them, I put them in my computer and I listened to them for days on end, hours on end, and I was like, wow. Cause for like 3 days, I probably listened to these over and over just to get myself like whenever I wasn't playing video games like that, I was just relaxing or editing a video, or just getting some stuff like I do right here for ideas for content wrote down. I would just listen to them, man, and I remember, damn, I played this game on the 360, and I remember going through this, do that, and I remember going in these big weird things and these weird ass characters and the skags and the badasses and all these different things, and it was like, wow. And I remember, wow, these games just impacted me. So people, I may not have gave the best original soundtrack review, but I can recommend that, man, the music that accompanies video games makes it all, because yes, you got the game itself, you've got the story, you got the game that you're playing, the story that was written, the game that was created and edited, whether it's 2D, 3D, virtual reality, whatever it is, you've got the game essentially itself that you're playing with its effects and the storyline, and whether the characters talk or they have sound effects for them or whatever. But then you got the thing they got to put over it, and that's the music. And man, music for these games is so phenomenal. You know, I can sit there. It's like when you listen to some games, the game experience isn't really as good if you don't have the music. It's like when you play Mario, or you play Sonic, or you play Solid Snake, Solid Snake is the Metal Gear Solid series, or you like play certain things, like when you hear music, you know that when you hear this music get intense, you know something's about to happen when you hear the things. But also the music, when you hear it during the cutscenes, it helps evoke the emotion that the people that developed that game, that wrote that game, that created that game, are trying to put over for you all to see. It's like when you watch some games and you hear the music's like oh, you go to E3 and then you hear the game and the music, and all you're seeing is this trailer with this awesome music. It's like, wow, that sucks you into that world. So Halo, Kingdom Hearts, and Borderlands, all of those series are phenomenal with their music, the arrangements and all that. And then the games themselves are games that I think are ballpark hits. You know, they might not be for everybody, but for a guy like me and most of my friends, those games are games that, man, I can come back day after day. And I can tell you that ever since I played Borderlands 1, 2, and 3, Borderlands 1, 2 pre-sequel, and Tales from Borderlands, ever since I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and ever since I played Halo, every year I come back and play those games, or I watch stuff on YouTube about them, or search them up on the internet, and just try to find out more about them each and every day. And I'm hyped for the next Halo, I'm hyped for Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm hyped for the next Borderlands when they all come out. I'll be buying them, I'll be featuring them on this channel, and all that jazz. Hopefully you enjoyed this I guess you would call it original game soundtrack reviews, talk, whatever, I don't know. There'll be a title on this video, but whenever I get done editing it and all that, and hopefully you all, the viewers around the world, enjoyed it. Oh yeah, I'm Chrislevi13. I'll see you all later. Stay awesome.